Afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our live stream for today's adoptable cats. This live stream is hosted by City Dogs and City Kitties Rescue. We are a rescue in DC, but we do not have a physical shelter, so all of our adoptable cats and dogs stay with foster, so that's who we'll be chatting with today. We were founded in 2011, and we've saved over 12,000 pets. You can find us on Instagram at cdck rescue. You can find us on YouTube and on Facebook. Our website is also citydogsrescuedc.org. You can go there to donate to us to sponsor an animal's care. If you want to volunteer as a foster with the pets, with social media, with marketing, if you want to adopt a cat or a dog, you can all do that at citydogsrescuedc.org. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get started with Catherine, who is fostering Star and Stella. Okay.
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
guys.
Hi there. My name is Catherine. I am the temporary foster for Star the Tabby here, and Stella, who looks like a tortie but is actually a calico by the white paws here. Star here is quite the outgoing, brave little girl. She's very playful. And I recently had a bunch of friends over, and she had absolutely no fear about going up to people, asking for pets. She could be held, and she did very well. They were playing with her for over an hour with a wand toy, so she would definitely thrive in a household where she has lots of attention, probably another feline friend, because at this point, she's definitely high energy and needs that stimulation. Stella here is a little bit more shy. When I first got her, she was hiding in the bathroom behind the toilet. But I've had her for about a week now, a little over a week, and she has gotten much more comfortable. She's still a little nervous about sudden movements or sounds, but it's actually been very rewarding. She now comes up to me for pets and affection. She'll headbutt me, and she actually has the makings of a shoulder cat. She's jumped up on my shoulder a couple times and has wanted to stay up there, believe it or not. But Stella would definitely thrive in a household where she also had another feline friend who could kind of show her the ropes. She's also cat friendly. Both of them have been introduced to my resident cats and my other foster cat, and they were quite eager to see the other cats, although my cats were less eager to see them. But they are definitely at the age where they need play, multiple play sessions a day, probably mid-morning, and definitely in the evening. But if you can play with them more, they would certainly take that. But do you have any questions for me?
Well, you gave us a great overview of both of these kittens. Let's get into just some nice little details about them. What do you think makes them special, both individually and, living together?
Sure. Well, I'm told that when they first got together, so they are not litter mates. Stella here is 2 months old, I believe, and Star here is 3 months old. And when they were first put together, they weren't so sure about each other, and now they groom each other, they tackle each other. It's really quite cute. I would say that Star is particularly outgoing. She's very brave. She's eager to meet new people, new pets. And actually, when my other cats met her, they had the typical hiss and growl, but she also growled back, and it was a much louder sounding growl. But she was not afraid, and she stood her ground actually. Stella here, I would say it's like I said before, it's just been really rewarding. I've fostered maybe 13 kittens at this point, and I've only had two shy kittens, including Stella, and she has just really blossomed. It took her, a little over a week to probably feel the most comfortable. But as you can see, I can give her belly rubs. Um, And she's definitely playful and seeks out affection now, which, before I could not really touch her without her freaking out. But it's been really rewarding to see her kind of get more confident and actually start to tackle um, Star here a little bit more. So it's been very rewarding.
Well, that's great to hear about how as specific an individual they are. And on that note, do you think that they would do well alone, or do you think they should be adopted with other cats, resident cats in their house as well? What do you think they would prefer?
I think, given their age and also temperaments, they would both need to have a friendly feline friend in the household. For Stella, because she starts off a little bit shy and she would need someone to help show her the ropes and make her feel more comfortable. She starts off feeling more comfortable with cats, but then obviously shows her affection to humans. For Star here, I would say she definitely needs a playmate who's high energy and willing to be tackled or ambushed. She's got, even though she's kind of tired right now, don't let that deceive you. She's got a lot of energy and would definitely benefit from having a feline friend.
Great. And let's end with a fun one. What does their typical day look like? What do they like to do and how do they like to spend their day?
Let's see. So both of them, it depends. Sometimes I've had them in the bathroom at night, but last night I had them in my bedroom, and both of them around 6 o'clock in the morning decided that it was time for food. So they both came up on the bed, and without meowing, they just walked all over me, gave me headbutts, and I could tell they were asking for something. So it was pretty cute. Um, shortly after that, they needed maybe a 15-minute play session, and then they'll take a midday nap. But I would say they need like 3 or 4 play sessions a day just to get all that happy kitten energy out.
Great. And for our audience, we've been chatting about Star and Stella. They're both domestic shorthairs, both little kitty girls. Star is 3 months old and Stella is 2 months old. Catherine, do you have anything else that you want to share about these two?
No, I think I would just say, whoever is lucky enough to adopt them, their personalities are still coming out, but they are both very sweet cats. Even if Stella might take a little bit longer to warm up, but it's well worth it. And I think that they would thrive in households that have a lot of stimulation, people who want to pay attention to them, and give them lots of attention and play.
Well, thank you to all three of you. Catherine, our foster, and Star and Stella, our little adoptable kittens. You can learn more about Star at her link, which is cdck.cc/star, and about Stella at cdck.cc/Stella. Thank you again. Okay, up next we have Ziggy. Ziggy is being fostered by Natalie. He is a white domestic shorthair. He's about 2 years and 3 months old. So, Natalie, what can you share with us about Ziggy?
Well, if I can find him again, there he is. He's wandering around right now.
Of
So,
course.
Ziggy is a very special guy on a number of dimensions. So, first off, he's blind, but that doesn't really get in his way. He's just as adept once he learns kind of the outlay of a place. He's really good. You can see he knows exactly where he's going. Um, he is he has his eyes. He hasn't had them removed, so because they don't bother him. But we have confirmed that he doesn't have any sight. Um, his name is Ziggy because he's got that nice little zigzag on his back. Um, Ziggy was rescued from a hoarding situation, so he has some quirks, but he's an awesome companion cat. Um, he doesn't necessarily want to be held or cuddled or really even pet very much, but he loves to be around you. He follows me a lot, except for when I'm following him, trying to video him. Um, he follows me room to room. He hangs out near me. He's a very comforting, calm presence. Um,
Well, he
he's
sounds like
a
a great cat.
he is a great cat. Um, he definitely loves his food. He was really pretty severely underweight when he came to me, so um, he is no longer, as you can tell. Um, but I think that one of the kind of ramifications of his young life is that he loves his food a lot. So he definitely gets very active when there's food involved. He would probably do fine as an only cat, but as you see, he gets along fine with my two residents. Um, they all kind of play together sometimes. They chase each other around. Ziggy likes crinkle balls. I have not met a blind cat that didn't love crinkle balls because they can hear where it goes. He also loves the little circle bat the balls around toys. He's definitely not a kitten anymore, so he doesn't need a ton of play, but he definitely enjoys it on occasion.
Well, great. I mean, you've listed a lot of great things for potential adopters to know about Ziggy. Out of those things you listed, what do you think his absolute favorite thing to do is?
um, I think his favorite is to lay around napping, and he sleeps in very funny positions. He'll sleep upside down. It's very adorable. Um, he does love the ball toy, um, where the ball is on a track and he can just bat it around. He'll do that forever.
Great. And do you think Ziggy has any food or treat preferences that might be fun for his adopters to know about?
Um, he does like the churros, um, and there he is, hanging out in his box. As you can see, being blind is no obstacle. He's just crawled in the box like any normal cat would.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he just likes food generally and treats. Don't eat that.
Awesome. Well, Natalie, is there anything else you think that the audience should know about Ziggy?
um, Siggy is his own little dude. Um he's got his own personality, and he's just a different sort of cat that makes a wonderful companion for somebody who maybe doesn't want a cat all over them all the time, but wants some company. He's just a great little companion.
Fantastic. And for our audience, you can learn even more about Ziggy at cdck.cc/Ziggy. And Ziggy is spelled Ziggy. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we have Dylan, who's being fostered by Laura. Dylan is a gray domestic short hair, and he is about 3 years and 1 month old. Okay. So, Laura, what can you tell us about Dylan?
Sorry, I'm having a hard. There we go. Okay, here's Dylan. As you can see, he's currently attached to me. He is 3 years old. He is the friendliest, happiest, most easygoing little dude that I've ever met. He is constantly purring. As you can see, he's making biscuits right now. You look at him, you breathe in his direction, and he'll start making biscuits. He's really friendly, really happy, really loving. He loves to sit near you or to sit in your lap. Um, we take naps together. He's a really sweet guy. He also really likes new people. Everyone who's come into my house, he trots on up and makes a little chirp and then starts making some biscuits. Hi, buddy. Yes. Here. Yeah, he's
What a
just,
cutie pie.
yeah, he's such a cutie. He's so friendly, so happy. He's also really easygoing. And so, like, if I, have stuff to do, he'll just sit in his chair and wait for me to finish. I don't let him in my room at night, and he is like, okay, this is the way things are. And so he'll just wait outside the door, but he won't yell at it. He won't jump up. He'll just kind of wait for me to get up. And then he'll come on over and meow for some snuggles and attention. He likes to play on his own. He plays a lot with this little ball thing I have over there, and that. But he's not super motivated by the fishing pole. As you can see, he doesn't bite, but he chews when he's really happy. So we're trying to break him of that. But otherwise, he's just absolutely the sweetest boy. He came from a trailer park colony. So, and there were about 150 cats there. So he's had cat friends in the past. I think he would do well either as an only cat or with some, friends that he can hang out with. But he ultimately seems to be really driven by human affection. So he wants to be around you and hang out and just have a nice snuggle and make biscuits on biscuits on biscuits.
Adorable.
Hey,
And
bud.
so, do you think he has any food or treat preferences that might be cool to know?
He, I feed him a mix of wet food and dry food, and he does seem to like the wet food, but he's not super motivated. He's more motivated by people. He likes treats, but again, he's not super motivated by treats. He more is motivated by human interaction. What you doing, bud? I just
So,
got home and he's like just so excited that I'm here.
so am I right to think that his favorite activity would be spending time with you?
Yes, his favorite activity is spending time with me or whoever else is here. If there's a
Hmm,
person, he is happy.
great.
Yeah, and there he's playing a little bit. He is still playful, but I think he's a lot less like he has less of a need to play than some other similarly aged cats. And he's good at entertaining himself as well.
Great.
As yeah,
And
he's a derp.
and how else does he like to spend his time? Do you have any sense of what he does when you're not home or anything like that?
Yeah, he'll take naps. I often find himself curled up on that chair over there or in this corner here on the blanket. He'll just be snoozing. At night, I can hear that he's over here batting this
Mm,
around. He really loves that. Um, or chasing, he's got a catnip toy that he loves, and he loves these little things, but not on the fishing pole. He likes to play with them on their own.
hmm
So he'll just
Okay.
bat at those on his own and keep himself entertained.
Yeah,
Hi.
I mean he sounds great for someone who's looking for a cat that can, find something to do. Yeah.
And there he is with his famous biscuits. They never
Hmm
stop.
Do you have anything else that you think would be helpful to share?
Um, Nothing really. He's just such a sweet, happy, easy little fella.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining today. Audience, you can find more about Dylan at his link, which is cdck.cc/Dylan, spelled Dylan. Thank you again, Dylan and Laura.
Hmm.
Okay, up next we have Sunshine. Sunshine is being fostered by Jane. Sunshine is an orange domestic shorthair, and she is about 1 year and 2 months old. So, Jane, what can you tell us about Sunshine?
Well, here she is. She's, as you said, 1 year old, but she's like so super tiny. She's maybe like 6 to 7 pounds, and she's just so sweet. You can see she's like a kind of a pale orange color. And I kind of just learned recently that she was actually named by a sponsor who gets she's the sponsor is a teacher and she gets her students to like help pick the name. So I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
She's
Yeah.
super tiny, and normally she's kind of napping at this time of day, but I sort of got her awake for for the virtual live. So she's just kind of like thinking I'm about to play with her. But
Mm.
she's typically really easygoing, napping during the day, and then she kind of likes to play in the morning and the night. She might go get a snack right now.
Mm. Very fun. So what do you think her favorite activity is out of some of the things you just said?
So her favorite toy, let me see if I think she will play with it. Her favorite toy is a wand, and she just absolutely goes super crazy for it. And she's really fast. And she'll just like spend so much energy on it. She'll like be panting by the end of playing. But I usually wait till nighttime to play with her. But you can see this is like her absolute favorite thing to do.
Very cute. Yeah, she seems like she really, really knows how
She's
to
really
get
into
there.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
if I put the wand down, like I'll take breaks and I'll put the wand down and she'll just sit there like staring at it, like waiting for it to
Oh.
go again.
So what else does she like to do in a day? What does her typical day look like?
Her typical day, so I'll get up and give her food. And I don't know if you saw, but I have her food in this box because
Mhm.
she's like one of those cats that loves to bury her food when she's finished or even when she's just like taking a break. And so she'll just constantly bury it. So just so that doesn't make a mess everywhere, I have it in that box and it seems to be work really well. She doesn't bury it as much as when it was on a towel. So
Mhm.
she'll get up and eat. And then if I'm working from home, sometimes I'll be sitting at this table and she might sit in this chair next to me and just kind of nap. Otherwise, she'll go to the window, she'll hang out by the window, she'll hang out in the cat tree. She's kind of like an independent lady during the day and just kind of, she does her own thing. And then when it's like nighttime, she's definitely ready to play. So she's kind of got like two modes, very chill, and then maybe just like playing by herself with a ball and then playing with this wand. It's always this wand.
And does she have any food or treat preferences that she really loves as much as she loves the wand?
Um, I give her some like fancy feast wet food. She finishes that right away. And then I just kind of have a steady amount of dry food available for her during the day because she's so small. So I just want to make sure she's eating enough. And then she does like some greenies. She's like learning about
Oh,
greenies. She wasn't
great.
really food motivated at first, but she's been liking the greenies lately.
Awesome. And do you have anything else that you think a potential adopter should know about her?
I think she's just like such a she's she started out really shy and she's just come out of her shell so much. Um, like when she first got here, she hid for a while and she was scared of every noise. And I live downtown, so there's a lot of noise, and she's just gotten so used to it. And like this past week, I had to have a plumber in my unit, and he's like a really large, loud guy. And she just stayed on this chair like the whole time, just kind of like looking from afar. And so I think she's just like such a great cat. Like she's just really learning and getting really brave. And she's also just really independent.
Yeah, and it's always wonderful to see these fosters grow when you first get them to how, outgoing and adjustable and brave they can be when they get to their forever home. So thank you so much for fostering her.
Yeah,
And everyone, that is Sunshine. You can learn more about her at cdck.cc/sunshine. Thank you guys.
thank you.
Okay, up next we have Sherbet. Sherbet is being fostered by Hope, and Sherbet is an orange domestic short hair, about 2 years and 1 month old. And Sherbet, I believe, is a male. Okay. Okay. Hope, are you? Okay, great, awesome. So, Hope, what can you tell us about Sherbet? Oh, I think you might still be okay.
Oh, there we go. You can hear me? You can
Yeah.
see me?
Yes, we
Okay,
can hear and see you.
perfect. Sorry about that. New phone, getting used to it. This is kind of Sherbet's nap time. So he's a little he's chilling right now, but what can I say? He is one of the very sweetest fosters I've ever had. Um, One thing that's very special about Sherbet is that he walks with a limp. We learned that unfortunately this little guy suffered a gunshot wound, and he may have this limp for the rest of his life. But, it doesn't really seem to be causing him any pain at all. And he is still an extremely playful guy. He is very cuddly. He always wants to be near you. He spends a lot of time on my lap. If I'm sitting in the bathroom on the toilet, he wants to hop up there too. He sleeps in bed with me as well. He was definitely a little shy when I first got him. He is definitely blossomed quite a bit into a playful cat. I try to play with him a couple times a day. There we go. You have beautiful green eyes that hopefully he opens long enough to show you. There we go. He so yes, he's definitely developed much more of a play personality. I try to play with him in the morning, and then after I'm done with dinner in the evening, so we can kind of get out that energy before bedtime. His absolute favorite toy is this little bird on the wand, and I think it's his favorite because it's fat enough for him to grab with his paw, which kind of his left paw kind of like tilts to the side a little bit. So he's not as nimble with the feathers, and I think he appreciates having this bird toy that he can grab. He spends a lot of time on his back, snatching it in the air. That's one of his favorite things. Um, when he's on his own, when I'm at work during the day or teleworking, he's pretty good at entertaining himself as well. He really likes the that ball circle track thing, and he also loves his Catosaurus and his cat cave. Um, let's see him interact a little bit here. Um, so I think those are the highlights, but yeah, he
Yes.
go ahead, sorry.
No, those were great. You checked all the boxes on how he likes to play and his favorite toys and all of that. So do you think his favorite activity is playing?
I think it's a toss up between playing and snuggling.
Mm.
It's very cute. He does make biscuits, although not as frequently as some of the other as Dylan, I think it was. It's so cute. He will frequently put his butt up to just whenever he wants attention. So that's his other favorite activity is just kind of being close by, making physical contact. As long as he's next to you, he's happy. Um, and oh, you had asked about food. He's a very good eater. He's not super food motivated necessarily. He does love his wet food over his dry food. And he likes to chew his snacks, but he doesn't, freak out to get them or anything. He does get excited when it's time for his wet food. And yeah, we're getting some energy here. Yeah, what else can I say? He's just a very sweet boy.
I feel like you answered all my questions very easily. So if you have any other things to say about Sherbet, you can go ahead and say those now. But otherwise, I think it's time to tell people about his link, which is cdck.cc/Sherbet, and you can learn more about Sherbet at his link. And thank you so much, both Hope and Sherbet, for joining the call today.
Thank you.
So up next, we have Pearl and SpongeBob, who are being fostered by Maria. So Pearl is a black domestic shorthair, and she is 2 months old. SpongeBob is a brown domestic shorthair, and he is also 2 months old. So Maria, what can you tell us about Pearl and SpongeBob?
Okay. So they were part of five kittens. and one was already adopted, another on the way. So SpongeBob, they're both about 2 months old, and SpongeBob is a boy, and they're all named after the show, the SpongeBob SquarePants show.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
as you can see, SpongeBob, and so right now I have 4 of them, and they're all very playful, and they play together really well. They also like to follow me around, so they obviously love people. Um, and I feed them about maybe 3 to 4 times a day because they're kittens and their stomachs are really small. And SpongeBob here, this is a nap time, so they're like sleeping. SpongeBob here is again really affectionate. He comes up to my chest a lot. We nose touch. And then at least 2 or 3 times a day, they all get really playful. They'll be running around, kissing each other, and SpongeBob holds his own. And there she is. There he is. Anyway, and they jump around. They have all kinds of toys here. They like chasing around balls and sprinkle balls and little mouses and the badass things, anything that's kind of like hanging or something, the badass stuff. And they seem to all get along really well. So I hope that they do get adopted together in twos at least. So as you can see, SpongeBob is a sweetheart, very sleepy, but very friendly. And I feed them a combination of wet food and dry food for kittens. And the dry food I like to use like kitten food, and the wet food also kitten food. Um, so as you can see, they're just all snuggly. And then we have here another sibling. Her name is Karen, and
Oh, Maria, I think your
yeah,
camera turned off. Okay. But while you're figuring that out, that's just a great overview of both Pearl and SpongeBob. I know we have a lot of litters of kittens that come together and come super young, so it's great that you're able to take care of four of them at a time.
well, there were 5 of them, and one got
Yes.
adopted, which was sad.
Yes.
And then this is Karen. So Karen in the show was a computer
Mm-hmm.
married to a plankton, but she, as you can see, she's beautiful. She's white whiskers and half of her body is. If I were to name her, I would name her White Socks or White Boots because she has very special legs.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're both very clumsy and fun, very energetic at certain times of the day, and be chasing each other around, wrestling, you know, jumping onto things and snapping it. I mean, like swatting at things. But to me, as for a person, they see me as a caretaker because they're
Mm-hmm.
very sweet. So usually, I kind of have them run around all over the place. They're really good with a litter box, and some of them like to hang out the window, by the window. Um, so I don't know. They're just really good together. I think they'll be very good with other cats as well. Um, but this is one of their quiet times, and just kind of lounging around, really comfortable. And then in the morning they get up, and they don't really bother me much. They don't really make a lot of demands. They're very flexible, and I think they're very flexible with what they eat, kind of litter they have, and they're just really wonderful, affectionate, playful kittens.
Yes, it's such
There you
sweet
go.
little sleeping faces. So,
Yeah.
Maria, could you give us just a little bit more detail? You told us about what they're like in the morning. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the rest of their day is like?
Yeah, so they eat and then they get into this playing mode where they're running around, chasing things, kind of wrestling with each other, and start to explore everything. They'll explore like little crevices, anything that's interesting. Um, And one by one, or some couple of them at a time, they would come up to me for some hugs or, you know, little rubs, or they like to be rubbed on their whiskers. And they're all like big purrs. They purr a lot and they're very loud in your ear or on their nose. And then they might all kind of like retreat. Kind of usually they're not really hiding in a corner. They're like this, kind of up in the open, so like splat out sleeping for a while. And then they might start walking around a little bit, and then feed them again around 11, 12. And then they go through another phase of running around and playing, and then another. So this is their second bout of sleeping. And then I feed them again, and they play together, run around, and then they start dozing off. Um, and then I go to sleep, but then I know they're doing something at night because I see things moves around. and I leave a little food overnight for them to nibble on, and they've been, of course, been nibbled on. So there you go. He's he likes to do that. So they all have like a unique characteristic. So this one likes to cool off. It was really hot, and lie against the wall. And of course, Karen just kind of splat out. No fear. They have no fear of anything. They think people will treat them like, you know, like really like special movie stars or something. So they treat like movie stars, and they feel nothing. And they will go to like when I'm in the kitchen washing something. They'll crawl around the faucet. Somehow they get up there, but jumping onto a chair and then onto the or up a bookcase, and they will wash the water. They'll watch me wash dishes, maybe try to help a little bit, sweating on my arm, and they want to know what's going on. They want to participate. So
Well, they're very cute, even though they don't know anything.
there you go. See, yeah.
Well, thank you, Maria, for sharing about all of them. If you'd like to learn more about pearl crab, you can go to
Yep.
cdck.cc/pearl crab. Pearl is spelled like the gemstone, and
Oh, I'm
crab is
sorry. Sorry.
spelled.
So that one is Karen. I have another one that looks similar to her. That's her name is Pearl, but this one is Karen.
Okay. So
And
great.
then
You can learn about all four of these kittens at our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. You can learn about Pearl. You can learn about SpongeBob, Karen, and Patrick. Any of the four that you'd like to look more into. So Maria, thank you so much for taking the time.
okay, thank you.
Okay, up next we have Blanche. Blanche is being fostered by Janny. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Blanche is a 11-year-old, 11 years and 3 months old, brown domestic short hair. And Blanche is a little girl kitty. So Janny, what can you tell us about Blanche?
Okay. This is Blanche. She's the sweetest little old lady. She's not a lab cat, but she still loves to be pet. And like the second you put a hand on her, she starts purring. And she loves being next to me all day. And she's like super affectionate. She just doesn't like to cuddle, but she loves to rub her nose on my face and on the corner of my phone. Um, she is super vocal in like a very funny way. Like if she knows that food is on the way, her meow is very funny. It honestly sounds like a little baby. Um, she she's just like the sweetest girl. She is not like playful, because she's an old lady, but she's very content just sitting and watching. Um, and she has arthritis, so she can't jump anymore, but we have like pet steps for her, and she loves getting up on the couch using those and also on the bed. So she's perfectly fine with steps, and her arthritis doesn't She doesn't seem to be in any pain, but she's an old lady. But she's the sweetest.
Yes, and I personally love an old lady pet that has just a little bit of arthritis. I think that it adds some spice to their lives. I have my little dog next to me right here, so I really think that Blanche should be adopted immediately. I think that
I
her age and
totally,
her, I mean, it's just an asset. She's wise in the ways of the world.
yeah, she needs a good place to retire in.
Exactly. So Janny, what do you think Blanche's favorite activity is?
I honestly think her favorite activity is just sitting next to me and sleeping. Um,
Oh.
but she also really loves if you put bird videos on the TV, she loves that. And she's really locked in and definitely thinks it's real. But other than that, she's just like a content old lady. She just walks around a little bit. She loves to eat and she loves to sit.
Okay, so she loves to eat. What are her food and her treat preferences?
She will eat anything. I honestly think she likes dry food more than wet food, but she loves both. She loves the true treats. Um, she's very food motivated for sure. She also is a hydrated queen. She loves water. She's constantly drinking her water, which is pretty rare for an old cat, but that is not a concern. She loves her water.
Yes, well, it seems like Blanche knows how to take care of herself in her old age. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Janny, is there anything else that you want to add about Blanche?
Um, no, I just think like she would be a great companion. She's just like happy to be here. And I think she would do well in a calmer environment. She doesn't love like new people. It takes her a little bit to warm up. She's a bit of a scaredy cat, but if you provide like a good environment for her, she definitely will come out for pets. But yeah, she's a great girl.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Janny and Blanche, for joining the call today. You can learn more about Blanche at cdck.cc/Blanche. And Blanche is spelled Blanche. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Bailey, who is fostering both Abby and Luna. So, Bailey, which one of them are you going to be talking to us about today?
I'm going to talk about both, but we'll start with Luna just because she's sitting next to me on the couch right now.
Okay.
So Luna, I've had them both a little over a week. Luna was very, very shy when she first came, but has really, her personality started to blossom. She loves to play. She's also not a lap cat. She kind of sits like this adjacent. So she likes to snuggle next to you, not on you, but we'll see if that changes over time. She's she likes to be petted. She kind of reacts like that a little bit, just a little nervous, but she'll quickly start purring and then kind of makes air biscuits. I don't think she's quite figured out that you can like stand on someone and make biscuits. But I'll show you. She loves to play. She has a ton of energy. Her favorite toy is definitely this bird stick toy. So you can see she's already up. So she loves this toy. I think she would play with it all day long if I would sit here and do this all day long. And I had company over recently, and she sat and played with them the entire time they were here. So she loved getting to meet new people. She's just an incredibly sweet little cat. She's got a really like tiny meow. It's kind of like a little mew when she wants something, which is adorable. She does love to eat. Her favorite is definitely the wet food, which I give her once a day. Mostly give dry food. And then she likes the churro snacks that everybody else has been talking about too. She also loves this ball toy over here. I mean, she'll play all day long. So if I'm not around, she's often, I'll come back and the box of toys will be empty and scattered all over the room because she's gone and pulled out the ones she wants to play with and entertains herself. So she's a very, very like happy, playful, friendly young cat, but a lot of energy. So I think Abby Abby has moved to the other room. So let me show you her. Abby is this beautiful gray kitty. She loves to get head scratches. She will come up and like kind of bop you with her head when she's ready for head scratches. She also likes to play. She doesn't like to stick toys as much as Luna does. But she does like to play. So often she'll kind of roll around with toys. She can kind of catch up with her paws rather than doing um, stick toys. And then she also loves to eat. She's the two of them kind of gang up on me, usually at 5 a.m., which I don't really appreciate, to come in and say, hey, we're ready for breakfast. And then I just close the door and tell them to go away because I'm like, I'm not getting in the habit of feeding y'all at 5 a.m. That's unreasonable. I think Abby would do okay in a house with another cat. She can sometimes be a little aggressive toward other cats, like not in a bad way. She'll swat at them. It's not like she attacks or anything. So just a cat that can kind of tolerate that. I think Luna would be fine with any cat. She's really just like, I think she's open to being with other cats. She's also cool by herself. Um, but they've gotten along fine. And then I have a resident cat who isn't like particularly fond of the foster cats I bring home, but they've all done pretty good. So maybe I'll pause there for questions.
Yes, thank you for that fantastic intro to both of them. So, to repeat,
There's,
Abby is the fully gray
yeah,
domestic short
this one's
hair.
Abby, this beautiful gray cat, and she's got these
Yes,
pretty,
and
pretty eyes. You
beautiful.
can kind of
And
see.
and Luna is white and gray, and they're both
Yes,
2 years old.
that's right.
Uh, okay.
Luna acts a little younger than that, but that's what I've been told.
Awesome. So we've
So,
covered what toys they like. What are their food or treat preferences? Are they similar? Are they different?
yeah, I mean, they both love wet food. They both love the kind of Temptations little goo packets. So, we do those a couple times a day. But they both eat fine. They both drink water. And like I said, they're kind of on the early morning train for wanting food. So I try to leave out enough overnight so that they don't bother me too much. And I definitely do the wet food after work because I do not want to. I'm in the habit of thinking like wake her up and get the wet food.
Oh, yes, that's very smart so that you can appropriately set their expectations.
Yeah.
So what else goes into their day? So they love their toys. What else do they do in the day?
Yeah, I mean, if they're not playing, they're napping. They don't play with each other too much. They kind of like they get along mostly. Let me go back in here. But yeah, so if they're not playing, they're napping or eating. So pretty standard cat stuff.
Nice. And then on that note, do you think that they would do well by themselves as cats in their forever homes? Would they like another cat?
I think they would both do fine either way. Like I said, with Abby, just because I think it would just need to be a good match for the cat. Like I think you're going to have to do a slower introduction with Abby than you would with Luna. Luna has got such a good personality. I think she'd be fine either way. Like Abby, I think, is going to want her space and, like I said, might just need to do a bit of a slower introduction.
Awesome. Well, I think we've checked all the boxes for both of them. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, I mean they're both like nice, sweet cats. So I think either one of them would be a great addition to someone's home. Yeah, so I'm happy. I know folks can apply online, and I also post a lot of pictures with them on City Kitties, the CDCK Instagram. So if you want to see more Abby and Luna content, you can follow the Instagram.
Okay, fantastic plug. Hopefully we get some new followers and some applications
Yeah.
for the lovely cats,
Yeah, I do
sorry.
adoption counseling as well. So sometimes I am helping people process their applications when they're ready to adopt. So
Great. Okay, so potential adopters, you can learn more about Abby and Luna at cdck.cc/Abby. That's spelled ABBY, or at cdck.cc/Luna. And Luna is spelled Luna. Thank you to all three of you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. And last but not least, we have Crystal, who is being fostered by Eric. So, Crystal is a female white domestic short hair, and she is 3 years and 1 month old. So, Eric, what can you tell us about Crystal?
Oh, I guess first off, she's actually a calico. I mean, she's like from some angles she does look completely white, but she does have a little bit of orange and black on her too. So she is a little calico. She's, as you can see, she's very playful, very energetic. But she's also like not really like she kind of will go with the flow. I would say like she, sometimes like we'll just, she'll sit around nap as well, but like doesn't necessarily, have to play at any particular time, but she's pretty much always like ready to go to play if you want to. She has gotten along pretty well. We have two resident cats. She's gotten along pretty well with she kind of holds her own. Like I would say she kind of the limiting factor on like how well she'll get along with the other cat is like how the other cat is. Like she's not afraid of any other cat. And she will kind of, stand her ground. Um, we have one cat who's like a little more playful, and they seem to be getting along pretty well, and they'll kind of chase each other up and down the stairs and sit with each other and look out the window and stuff. So um she's very, very food motivated. Um, you know, wet, dry, any treat, doesn't matter. Like, she may try to eat human food too, so you have to be careful with that. Um, but yeah, she's also just like really, really sweet. I mean, when we first brought her home, she's never really hidden. She came right out of her carrier, kind of explored her, the room we had her in, and was ready to get out of it within a day, and explore the rest of the house. Um, and she'll just climb up in your lap and just go to sleep, or you may, if you go to sleep in the same room as her, you may wake up with her like just sleeping on your chest. So she's just really, really loving cat, like super sweet.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving that nice description of her. So what do you think her typical day looks like from beginning to end?
We try to feed her around 8:15. She's actually pretty patient, even though she's really so food motivated. She's actually pretty patient about it. Like one of our resident cats will like really start bothering you around food time. Like she doesn't. She kind of just will. She's ready to eat, but she won't really bother you about it. You do have to kind of like once you start actually like bringing the food out, like you do have to kind of like pick her. I guess she'll try to eat with like you know our resident cat's food. Like if you try to just put it down in front of her, so you kind of have to pick her up or separate her. Um, but yeah, so like around 8:15, we usually feed her, and then she'll play with one of our resident cats. She'll go sit at the window for a while, nap for a while. If my wife's working from home, she'll usually sit in the office with her, like most of the day too, or she'll sit in her lap. Um, and then we feed her dinner. We feed her wet food at night around 8 p.m. and she usually will kind of settle down from there. Like we've never really have had her issues with her kind of waking us up at night or anything like that either. So
Okay, great. And so with her meals, does she have any food or treat preferences that she's really into?
I mean, she definitely, she'll crush a churro. Like she definitely loves, wet food churros, but like she also really, I mean, we have one of our other cats our other resident cat is on greenies right now for some tartar, and she will eat those too. So I mean, she'll really eat anything. She just loves food. I think she also came from the same colony as situation as Dylan was in, so I think that's probably kind of part of what's going on there.
Yes. Well, if there's anything our audience has learned from tonight other than to adopt one of these cats, it's that you should get that cat some churros. For
Yes,
sure.
yes, both, every cat that I've ever had, loved churros. So definitely a good idea.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else that you think potential adopters should know about Crystal?
Not that I can think of.
Well, thank you so much. You've given us a lot of good information for her. You can learn more about Crystal at cdck.cc/crystal, and that's spelled like crystal clear, Crystal. Thank you guys. Okay, and with that, Crystal was our last foster cat for the night. So, thank you so much to all of our fosters. Our fosters do so much work to take care of these cats, to obviously meet their needs, and to do so many things that you wouldn't even think about for all of these adoptable cats. So, thank you so much for our fosters. Thank you to our audience for attending. You all can learn more about all of the cats today, about volunteering opportunities, foster opportunities, adopting cats or dogs at citydogsrescuedc.org. Thank you all for joining. Have a good rest of your afternoon.